Hey, Jules Plus Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Sadly, my hearing impaired husband is listening to the TV. It's gonna be loud. There is nothing I can do right now. Oh well, I still have a message. I'm still gonna share it. Bear with me. Anyway, so yeah, I posted one yesterday on saying that my weight had gone up 15 pounds. And part of that was just me being in denial, me trying to survive moment to moment. There's something that I tend to do where I kind of hold my breath in an experience. So if I'm going, like for instance, I just did summer school and it was for a month, and I had just finished school and it literally started the following Monday and there was no time to breathe in between. And I just went for it and delved in and gave it 1,000% like I do. And I really do go above and beyond. And in waiting for it to end so I could get on with the next thing, I just never came up for air. And I got into my food and I stopped using my tools. And that's something that I tend to do. And so I said that food has a consequence, good or bad, and that is completely true. Ideally, in eating plant-based vegan and raw vegan, the consequence is excellent. The consequence is weight loss. The consequence is having a stable weight for people who don't need to lose weight. The consequence is healing ailments. I mean, it's a fantastic consequence. In my situation, obviously, when I'm on the very outer rings of my plan and pushing to junk food vegan, let's be fair, there's another consequence, right? And in that situation, it was weight gain, which I can do very quickly. And it never seems to come off as quick. But that's okay, because it slows me down and makes me pay attention. So I went ahead and spent some time, yay God, with myself. So first of all, I got out my calendar. I'm so happy. And you can see that I'm on day 6 of wellness. And I'm happy to say, that I've absolutely eaten within my parameters and all proper food. In this situation, raw vegan, except for one element, which was just vegetables, but they were slightly cooked. And that's okay. That's okay, because I'm really plant-based vegan more than anything, but raw serves me the most. So yay for this. And then I got back into my journal, yay. And I went ahead and just stapled the previous pages together so that I could just have a totally fresh start. And here's my fresh start. And I went ahead and recorded all of my food for today. I recorded my current weight because that does matter to me. I wish it didn't, but it does, because you can see if I am not paying attention, there's a consequence, and this wasn't a good one. I honestly believe that people can eat healthy, raw vegan, and not have to record calories and not have to worry about the weight, and that their body will take care of itself. I just play so many games with food, coming from a lifetime of disordered eating, from literally conscious awareness of 3 years old, already manipulating food, already hiding food, already stealing food, from 3 years old. And it's just been a lifetime of craziness regarding food. Okay, so yay me, back on my journal. Then I emptied my urge jar, but you can see there's still some urges in here. They're new. They're new. Even though I ate completely right, I'm so grateful. I did end up at a restaurant with my husband, and he even ended up getting dessert. And you know what? I think he's kind of in that mentality of, hey, I'm about to have surgery. I'll do better after surgery. I never find it to be true. I've had a lot of ailments. I've been in the hospital many times, and the promises that the fear of that hospital, the fear of the doctor's threats that if I don't turn it around, blank will happen, have never made the difference. They just haven't. I wish it was enough. It was never enough. Like, you're not ready till you're ready. And he's not ready. So yeah, he ate a meal that he really wanted. He had dessert. He offered me some. No, but sometimes I'm strong in the moment and I make up for it later. That is not my intention, but I had to praise myself and say good job. Okay, so let's revisit the urge jar. I'm sorry, I'm dealing with my Invisalign, but I've got to keep them in. I've got to keep them in, so I will fight through that. Regarding the urge jar, and you can just look it up above. This comes from Brooke Castillo at the Life Coach School. One of the ways to make the urge jar the most effective, bar none, is that you actually write your intention that's coming. And this really complements the monkey mind. So the monkey mind is a real thing, and a monkey seldom shows up by themselves. They're usually in a tribe. So wait for that tribe to come, because if there's more hoo-hoos than one, he's brought his tribe. This little coconut, and it's literally named Coconut, which was just darling, I purchased, and it took me a long time to find coconut. But when I saw this little person, I was like, oh yeah, you're innocent. You've got the big innocent eyes. You're so cute, and I can just see the troublemaker in you coming from a mile away. So I wanted something tangible, an actual little person that I could say, oh my gosh, you have been up to no good. And that was coconut. So that's where I got this. But the reason it complements the monkey mind is because the monkey, which represents your inner child, and I just say it's your inner child, you could call it your primal brain, right? So the brain that wants things yesterday, that has to have it now, much like a child, which is why I call it that. But anyway, that little brain that's fussing and causing trouble and saying, give it to me now, until it breaks down your barriers and you finally say, fine, just do it as long as you'll shut up. A way to appease that, like with any child, and I find this true as a teacher in the classroom, if you inform the person about what your intentions are, certainly step by step, there's a better chance that they will not panic, they will not fit throat, they will not cause trouble if they have an understanding of what direction you're going in. So for that brain, you can appease it with your urge jar. And again, this is just a used jar in my house, and these little glass beads came from the Dollar Tree. And you can get like 200. I got 2 packs, so $2 for 400 beautiful beads. If you pre-write your intention, and I say intention because it may not be about food, it works for everything. But in my situation, to pre-write my food, and then you don't give any room. So if I pre-write my food, I don't necessarily have to consume all of it, but I don't really get to add to it. I can make a little side note at the end of the day saying, hi, I chose not to eat that. But remember, a day is only, for most people, they're only awake for like 17 or 18 hours, right? You can make it, and you can tell your little primal brain, your little monkey mind, that whatever it is they're hoo-hooing for, they can have it the next day. And hopefully, like most children, they'll forget whatever it was that they wanted. You can write it into your journal for the following day. Like, that is the most successful way. So whether it's paying bills, whether it's abstaining from sex, whether it's stopping gambling, like whatever your intention is, write it down for the following day. Then if you don't own up to all of it that following day as you intended, assure yourself that the following day you can do whatever it is. You know, I'm happy to say all this out loud because, of course, I'm mostly talking to myself and hoping it'll benefit somebody else. But one of the things I promised myself on the Jules Plus Vegan channel was that I would have a right to be honest and that it would be a safe place for people to share. So in the situation where my weight went up, I didn't want to pretend to be something else. And part of the reality check of that, and I talk about Tanny Raw, and she is an advocate for all things health on every health channel. You can find her, Tanny Raw. And she's having what's called the Raw Reset. And oh my gosh, the window will be closing. There's a little more time. It doesn't start until like the 19th. So there's probably maybe 1 week, maybe less than a week. But I encourage the Raw Reset for everybody. Whether you understand what it's like to eat raw, whether you just want to know about all things health and some tools, some tangible tools to better your life, she's your girl. But one thing about it was that when I filled out, she has a form the minute you sign up, and it comes to you and it asks, what are your health situations? What are your concerns? What are your goals? What's your height? What's your weight? Well, I immediately put in 193. I mean, that's what I've been weighing for some time. Now, fortunately, it's not going to change the window of calories that they suggest I eat. And people, I absolutely know in every way, shape, and form that you have to create a calorie deficit to lose weight. I so get that, okay? I'm not confused about that. If people think I'm confused, I'm not. I think what my question is when do you decide where the deficit begins? You know, and for that there's many ways to measure it, but I'm not concerned about that. I'm using my tools. I am 6 days clean on eating the way that I know to, which is fruit and vegetables and healthy fat, and absolutely my preference. I'm an 80-10-10 girl. If you're not familiar, you can look it up as well. So 80% carbs, 10% fat, 10% protein, and I'm really good about staying in that range. And when I'm on program, I like perfectly. Like, I can't tell the number of times I've used Chronometer, and it's something that kind of measures your food. You can't really live by it, especially when you look at things like meat and milk and stuff. The dairy industry like sponsored the numbers on Chronometer. So you kind of have to be careful when it comes to things like calcium and iron and stuff like that. It's kind of tricky, but initially it's a really good idea to understand what it is you're eating and how much and things like that. So anyway, I can't count the number of times on Chronometer when I would go in and see the final, and it would literally say 80-10-10. And I was like, so yes, how great is that? So anyway, I know I'm pretty good at all those things. Okay, so I'm ready to be completely on my game, okay? I'm stoked that I've been eating right for 6 days, especially since I just got that reality check yesterday regarding my weight. So at least I was on it. And again, some of that was just the convenience of knowing that summer school had ended and that I wanted to start focusing on myself again. And part of cleaning up my food may very well be just that, you know, remembering to put myself first, remembering not to focus too much on other people's lives, which I tend to lose myself in. And that's a story for another day. But I just wanted to show you guys. And thank you so much for the support. My friends in Greens Make You Lean, my friends in here that said, Jules, ain't no thing, man. You've had a lot going on. And I was thinking about it. It's so true. There has been so much going on, you know, not just for my husband's health, but losing our precious little Mercy, our dog, losing my darling Indy. I can't even tell you what a good friend Indy was to me. It's actually going to make me emotional because Indy was like, I'm still so broken. No offense to all my other kids. God knows we've lost so many, but Indy was like, he was amazing. He was so amazing. Such a good friend to me. So dedicated. We were inseparable. So, I didn't realize we'd already lost Mercy just within 3 months of Indy. And, you know, of course I'm vulnerable because I love my husband so much. And I just can't stand the idea of the consequence of food. The consequence of choices. He has never been a drinker in our entire marriage, praise God, because when we met in our 20s, drinking is one thing we did together. And I was so grateful that when we finally got married and stuff, that wasn't our case. He's never been a smoker in our time together, but he was a smoker early on. What we've done together is food, and more food, and toxic waste food. I can't do anything about the animals that died, you know, except for going forward and not eating them, which I'm certainly on. And I can't do anything about the zillions of dollars misused. I'm tithing and I donate every month to a lot of people in need instead of spending it on food. But there is a consequence to food. I've shared many of my consequences in those last videos last week. But yeah, now I'm just kind of seeing what God's plan is for my husband. And one of the ways, the best way by far, is for me to be completely consistent in my eating and just modeling that I can be steadfast in caring for myself. And if that means one or less binge meals for him because we're not being weekend warriors for food, then I've done my job. I cannot change what's happened. But it also reminds me that we just have to love, absolutely love in the moment, because nothing is promised, and I hate that. I hate that, and God knows I hate it, and I hate it. But I love completely, and I hurt completely, and I mourn completely, all. All right, people, I'm stoked to tell you, and Coconut's my witness, I am back on my plan, and thank you for being here for me. All right, like if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, because we're here, because we're breathing, because there's hope and tools. I know I'm blessed, and I know you're blessed.